So, hi everyone. My name is Martin Dillo. I'm the Group Sales Development Manager at TrustFord, and I'm delighted I'm joined today by Jonny from Ford Motor Company. He's our Sales Zone Manager and is expert in all things Ford. The purpose of today's call is to learn more about the all-new Ford Kuga, and in particular the electric variants that we've got and what impact they have. And the questions I'm about to put to Jonny are all questions from our customers. So first of all, welcome, Jonny. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
If I can kick off with the first question, Jonny. So let's just start with the exterior of the all-new Kuga. So what changes are there from the existing model? And in particular, a number of customers are very concerned about safety features. So what safety enhancements are there?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question to start us off, Martin. I mean, the Kuga has gone through a kind of complete product update based on lots of customer research that we've done. And that's why really we're calling it the all-new Kuga, because it is completely changed from its prior model. So I guess the first thing to mention in terms of the exterior is the dimensions of the Kuga have really grown. So the width has increased by about 44 millimeters, length by about 89 millimeters, and there's been a small decrease in height by about 6 millimeters. But all of those kind of exterior adjustments make for a much sleeker and kind of sportier silhouette on the model. And I think despite all of this, so actually making the car bigger, we've actually made it lighter by about 80 kilograms, which obviously contributes to better aerodynamics and helps with CO2 and the fuel consumption of the vehicle as well. But I guess the main thing to say about the exteriors is the same with the rest of the Ford family. The exterior styling can very much depend on what model derivative you go for, whether it's an ST line or a titanium. But I've got to say my favorite is the ST line X, which I think is what we're doing for most of the campaigns.
Yeah.
I guess from a safety perspective, I mean, there's so much that we can talk about in terms of the developments, but just the kind of key call outs is it's a 5-star Euro NCAP rated car, and that's been driven basically by its immense safety features. It's got pre-collision assist, front and rear parking sensors, lane keeping aid, various options that have been added on as standard to really give our customers peace of mind and make sure that they're in a safe vehicle.
Wow, that's fantastic. And I think you don't quite realise just how many adjustments are made that really make a big difference apart from just the aesthetics of it. And it certainly does look good, as you say. Yeah. But the big thing that stands out from a lot of people is the digital display. Tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there's kind of two displays to discuss. So I'd be interested to hear what your customers are asking you about. But for me, there's obviously the new floating 8-inch touchscreen nav that you'll see on a lot of the other models. And then we've also included in the 12.3-inch digital color cluster, which comes as standard on the ST line models and up. And I think it looks fantastic. But particularly the digital cluster has been a big kind of influential change, I think, on the interior of the Kuga. So that replaces the original dials and gizmos that you used to have above the steering wheel. And now it's fully immersed into a full digital display, which I think really comes to life when you're switching between the different drive modes. For example, when you pop it into sport mode, you'll actually get an image coming up with a Mustang on the screen. It'll also adapt the entire screen into a sport dash, and you'll have darker red features that kind of really bring the experience to life. And I think it's even got a racing flag on it. So, it kind of fully brings the driving experience to life. And that's just one of the modes that we've got, which has really enhanced the interior.
Wow, that's fantastic. And speaking as someone, and again, these are our customer questions, I promise you, but speaking as someone who likes a gadget and likes pressing buttons, that sounds amazing. What other technological benefits and enhancements have Ford put into the all-new Kuga?
Yeah, I mean, so a load of new features put in as standard. So we've got the wireless charging pad for those customers that are obviously on the mobiles and wanting to make sure it's charged up over the journey. We've got Ford Pass Connect embedded modem, which I'll probably explain a bit more later. But essentially, really good technology, especially in integration with our Ford Pass app. And then we've also got rear charging points. So again, if the kids are in the back and wanting to use their mobiles, they can have those plugged in the back too. So really good kind of standard features. And then I guess depending on the spec again of what the customer goes for, they could get front power driver's seats. You could also get heated front and rear seats, which is a new addition. So make sure everyone's got warm bottoms in the front and back. And then also hands-free tailgate, and I guess loads more different options. So really kind of significant uplift in the standard equipment that we're doing on the all-new Kuga. And I guess, I think something we're getting a lot of press and a few communications that we've done out as Ford. But essentially we've put in this technology where you can move the rear sliding seats to basically move them forward, which gives loads of space in terms of the luggage room for when you're going on holiday or those longer journeys. But then vice versa, you can actually slide the seats back and it gives it best in class leg room.
Fantastic, really does sound very the music from her phone. Looks like that's going to continue in the Kuga.
Yeah.
So we looked at the technology side of it, but probably one of the major enhancements we've got over the Kuga that we're getting loads of questions from is around the hybrid options. So we've got mild hybrid and plug-in hybrid. For our customers that perhaps have had Ford for a while and aren't used to those different options, can you talk me through some of the differences and in particular how they benefit our customer?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess mild hybrid, as you referred to there, or as we kind of commonly call it, and you might hear on some of the dealer websites, but MHEV, and that's essentially where the kinetic energy that would normally be lost from that customer braking is actually recycled into the vehicle, which powers things like the touchscreen display or also the in-car heating. But that actual energy can't be stored, so it can only be bypassed into another area to actually support in terms of some of those functions. And then I guess the plug-in hybrid, which is obviously the big opportunity for us and where we really see the market going and what's fed into a lot of the customer feedback. But that's essentially has the ability to be plugged into a power outlet and then charge up a small battery. And that supports the main engine driving, or actually can be used independently on full electric mode for up to 35 miles. So really good kind of neat feature. And I think you can choose between the different drive modes. For example, you've got 4 drive modes within the EV area of the car. So you can put it into EV Now, which basically powers the car independently on electric, as I was saying. Then you've got EV Auto, which mixes between both powertrains based on obviously power demand and the amount of charge that you've got in the car. And really that's what I've used most of the time when I've been driving in the Kuga. And then you've also got EV Later and EV Charge to really make sure that you replenish those supplies. So yeah, really exciting that we're now coming into the electric era, and I think big opportunity.
Fantastic, really does sound good. Again, I love the different options you've got that suits the driving style. And again, the feedback we've got from many customers is the impact on the environment is just essential, and it's something that they're looking for. But what they're also looking for is how it impacts them in the pocket. So again, what differences will that make, particularly in savings for our customers on their normal journeys?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the MHEV or mild hybrid, as I referred to earlier, I mean, obviously that energy that you're recycling from the braking, normally you would burn that off, so obviously you're getting the benefits by actually powering those internal electrics using that normally lost energy. And that provides improvements of about 3 to 5% in terms of fuel efficiency. And then I think PHEV, so it'll give you a combined MPG, and I've actually trialed this, and I've spoken to a few other dealers. You know, they're getting a combined MPG of about 200, which is really, really staggering. So obviously those customers using, you know, 100% electric drive for those shorter journeys to work, it will reduce their fuel costs by about 60%, versus, I guess, the other 1.5 litre automatic that we've got in the range. So big fuel efficiency improvements as well. And it's not too expensive to charge overnight. I think in terms of other benefits from PHEV as well, so they'll be exempt from the ULEV charge. They'll obviously pay lower road tax because that's done from a CO2 perspective. And then also, I think the main thing that we're trying to get out of this program is the car is really exceptionally priced. It's actually the same price as the 2 litre auto. So really well priced. And, you know, the fuel efficiencies that you're getting itself will be a kind of huge cost saving for those customers.
Well, it's just fantastic news. And again, really interested to hear your feedback on how you've found the driving. That 201 miles per gallon just sounds phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just moving on back a little bit, thinking about the charging. You said earlier about wireless charging, and I think again how smartphone technology moves on at such a pace. So what other things has the Kuga got, in particular linking up to the smartphone and internet that the Kuga's got now?
Yeah, so I guess in addition to the wireless charging pad and the charging facilities that I mentioned earlier, I was mentioning about the embedded modem that's in the car for Ford Pass. And so you can connect it via your phone if you've downloaded the app. And basically, Ford Pass will give you information about your car, you know, including information about maintenance, so your tire pressure, for example, or your fuel levels. It'll also give you information about booking a service or appointment with your dealer. So not having to go through the conversation on the phone, you can do that seamlessly. And, you know, it'll even give you advice about your driving via My Journeys, which, to be honest, you know, I haven't used that much yet, but it's a really good piece of technology. And actually, I should probably pay more attention to it because it tells you, you know, when you're coming around corners too fast or where you're braking heavily when coming into junctions. And it gives you a bit of advice on how you can drive better and obviously save on those fuel costs. So really, really good piece of technology.
So just one thing. So obviously a lot of these things take a lot of power. So will our electric car customers get these features or get any extra features?
Yeah, so we've done a lot of updating of the Ford Pass app. For example, the average electric customer has those extra things to think about, like charging points when they're driving on the motorways. And for example, within our app, we give a full indication of the national charging points, so you can plan your route to make sure that you intercept that at one point. And also, you know, when you're inside in the service station, you've got your car on charge, you can have in real time an update as to where your car is actually at with its charging and, you know, the time remaining to do so. So that's a really neat feature. And I think the other good thing is once you've got your vehicle charging at home with your wall box, you can align the actual charging times via the app and make sure that you're basically charging the car up only in the cheapest times with your utility provider on an evening time. So really, really good features to obviously save more costs for the customer as well.
Wow, that's excellent. So you've really given me a really good insight into the Kuga, and so much so that I think the question that most of our customers will now ask off the back of that is, what's it like to drive?
Yeah, I think that's probably a tough one to answer for all customers. I mean, personally for me, I think it's an incredible drive. As I said earlier, the ST Line X is absolutely beautiful. and the transition between the different drive modes in terms of PHEV, it was really seamless and really surprising. And I definitely recommend it, but I guess we'll have to leave that up to your customers. But yeah, really on board with it. I think it's a great car.
Brilliant. Well, fantastic. Thanks for your time, Jonny. And I'm sure many of our customers have already given us great feedback on the drive. Many more will be booking their test drives with their TrustFord dealer very soon. Again, appreciate your time, and thank you very much, and have a good day.
Absolutely. No, thanks for your time. Cheers.